Have you ever driven through a town so quiet it felt like no one ever lived there? Or wondered how an entire community could vanish? Not just the people, but the buildings, the records, the history, as if it was erased overnight. Welcome to Arcane History Hub, where we uncover the forgotten, the mysterious, and the unsettling chapters of our past. If you enjoy peeling back the layers of dark history, make sure you stay with us till the very end, because tonight we're telling the haunting story of the town that vanished overnight in America. Our story begins not with ghosts or legends, but with maps. Historical maps from the early 1800s mark the existence of a small settlement in the northeastern region of Pennsylvania. The name? Ong's Hat, a curious, almost comical name that few have heard of, and yet it appears on documented maps from as early as 1828. Nestled in the dense Pine Barrens, this village was remote, surrounded by tangled forests, sandy soil, and folklore that stretched back to colonial times. According to these maps, Ong's Hat was a real place. And then it wasn't. By the mid-1900s, Ong's Hat had disappeared. Not just abandoned, but removed from maps, from state records, and even from physical evidence. Historians, conspiracy theorists, and paranormal enthusiasts all started asking the same question: how can a whole town vanish without leaving behind so much as a foundation stone? To understand the mystery, we have to go back even further to the early settlers of the Pine Barrens. This region, while lush and green today, was once considered uninhabitable. Swampy, sandy, and filled with insects, it was avoided by most. But scattered among the trees were small communities, people who preferred isolation. They were farmers, loggers, fugitives, and outcasts. Towns like Ong's Hat, Batstow, and Pasadena grew in these woods, often unnoticed by the outside world. Ong's Hat got its name, legend says, from a flamboyant man named Ong who threw his silk hat into the air during a romantic argument at a dance, and it got stuck in a tree. The name stuck, and so did the town. By the 1860s, Ong's Hat was a quiet village of a few dozen people, mostly farmers and tradesmen. A general store, a schoolhouse, and several homes dotted the land. Life was simple and hidden. Then came the rumors. By the 1930s, Ong's Hat was all but forgotten. But in the 1970s, strange things started appearing in underground zines and early internet forums. The story that emerged was bizarre, according to some. Ong's Hat was the site of a secret interdimensional experiment. Yes, you heard that right. A group of rogue scientists led by a man named Wally Fard allegedly set up a lab in the ruins of Ong's Hat. They called themselves the Institute for Chaos Studies. According to the lore, they developed a device called the Egg that allowed people to travel between dimensions. The story goes that some members of the group vanished into another reality and never returned. As wild as it sounds, this myth spread like wildfire in early internet circles. It was one of the first digital conspiracy theories. Ong's Hat, the sleepy village no one remembered, became ground zero for one of the strangest science fiction meets reality rabbit holes the internet had ever seen. But here's where it gets creepier. People started going to the Pine Barrens looking for evidence. Some claimed to find strange metal fragments in the soil. Others swore they saw flickering lights in the trees, lights with no source. A few even claimed they encountered government agents warning them to leave. It wasn't just a hoax anymore. It was becoming legend. Meanwhile, the maps kept changing. Some versions showed Ong's Hat, others didn't. GPS coordinates led to nothing but trees and sand. There were no ruins, no signs of buildings, no foundations, as if the town had been plucked from the earth. In the 1990s, two researchers tracked down early residents of the area. They confirmed that Ong's Hat did exist, that people lived there, but they couldn't agree on when or why it vanished. One theory suggested the town was bought out and bulldozed by the government for classified testing. Another blamed wildfires. Others say it was just a casualty of time, a town too small to survive, swallowed by the forest. But none of these explain the clean wipe, the lack of ruins, the inconsistencies in records, the missing maps. And no one could explain why a fictional sci-fi story, originally written as a prank, had elements that seemed to match real geography. To this day, Ong's Hat remains both a confirmed historical location and an open mystery. Google Maps won't take you there. No road signs lead you in, and yet, if you venture into the Pine Barrens with an old enough map, you might just find a clearing where the wind whispers forgotten names. Was Ong's Hat really the site of a top-secret dimensional portal? Or just a forgotten village that caught the wrong kind of attention? Maybe it was never meant to be remembered. What do you think happened to the town that vanished overnight? Let us know in the comments. And if this kind of story haunts your curiosity, don't forget to subscribe. Arcane History Hub brings you the forgotten, the strange, and the spine-tingling chapters of history every week. Until next time, stay curious.